Hey guys, welcome back to Flight Simulator 2020 or Microsoft Flight Simulator, however you want to call it. Flying for the virtual airline again. This is our return flight on my first day. We are up in Palmerston North. We've been here for a few hours. We're taking 3 passengers and about 70 pounds of cargo back to Wellington. It's about 5 o'clock at night. Sun is starting to set. This is New Zealand winter, so it won't have long days. So we should be landing in a nice orange light sunset as we fly into Wellington. But we're ready to go. Again, it should be about 45-50 minutes gate to gate. Let's get her fired up and we will get going. So first things first is we turn on the fuel tanks. And we come down to here. We will turn the battery on. We will turn the fuel boost to on. Ignition goes to on. First avionics runs
Palmerston
up.
ground, Skyway 6082 IFR to Wellington, ready to copy. Skyway 6082 is cleared to Wellington Airport as filed.
Nav lights and
Take off
beacons
runway
are up.
25 climb and maintain 6,000 feet.
Till
Departure frequency is 119.2 squawk tree 435.
our ground rampy there that we're
Skyway
about to start.
6082 cleared to Wellington Airport as filed. Take off runway 25 climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure on 119.2 squawk tree 435.
Alright.
Skyway 6082 read
Turn
back
on the
correct.
track IR.
Contact ground on 121.7. Palmerston ground, Skyway 6082 requesting pushback. Skyway 6082 pushback request accepted.
So we're firing up. Engine's ramping up and everything looks good. So bring up the second avionics. So we want 248 on the heading bug. Take the parking brake off because they don't ask for that. .248 is the runway heading. I remember that from our flight in. And not sure if they gave us an altitude. 6,000 feet. Alright. So we're going up to 6,000 feet. Set that. And we'll go down while they push us back and set up here, so that comes off. We then go to CDI.
Palmerston ground, Skyway 6082 requesting the end of pushback.
And our winds.
Skyway 6082 request
Parking
to
brake
end
is
pushback
on.
received. Palmerston ground, Skyway 6082 with Oscar ready to taxi IFR. Skyway 6082 taxi to and hold short of runway 25 using taxiway Charlie, cross runway 25 left Charlie. Contact tower on 120.6 when ready. Taxi to and hold short runway 25 using taxiway Charlie, cross runway 25 left Charlie, Skyway 6082.
Alright, we're gonna go down here and then just backtrack a little bit and turn around. We should, no, what are you doing? Parking brake should be on. So you should get out of there anytime now. It'll take forever. You know, you're in my way there. Alright, now where are you going? You're just gonna sit there? Alright, well, we'll have to go around them. So let's taxi down to the runway. Throw our taxi light on. Oh yeah, now you're out of the way. behind you. These are very confusing taxi markings here. That's all right. So it's been a nice little afternoon hanging out in the pilot's lounge up here. But it's time to head back and call it a day. Rather extreme bump there. So Pete, my co-pilot for the trip back, is all ready. The cargo is loaded. The passengers, I was going to say the passengers are loaded, which technically they are. Double hold short lines here. Alright, so that's on. Let's go to landing lights on, strobes are on, no, not throttle. You're not in beta either. Good. And just lean over here, grab the prop control fully forward. Alright, and let's call the tower.
Palmerston Tower, Skyway 6082, ready to go runway 25 IFR to Wellington. Skyway 6082, cleared for takeoff runway 25. Cleared for takeoff runway 25, Skyway 6082.
Something I got to figure out on my controls is my reversers. I can get it to slip back into reverse, but it doesn't engage with any accuracy, so I will have to look at that. Let's go for a notch of flap as we roll out. Nobody coming in. Bring her around. There we go. Taking off into the sun on this one. So flaps are set, props fully forward. Everything is set on the GPS and the flight management autopilot system. Get ourselves lined up. Take a notch back. And let's roll. Bring up the power. Careful not to overspeed, which we just did. Airspeed's live, 50 knots. 60 knots, 65, we'll pull back. And we are climbing. Fly runway heading. Climbing to 6,000 feet. Trim in there. About 7 degrees for the climb. We're about 400 feet up, so we'll bring up the flaps and we'll trim back. About a 7-degree climb.
Skyway 6082, contact New Zealand Center on 119.2. Going to 119.2, Skyway 6082. New Zealand Center, Skyway 6082 is climbing through 900 feet for 6,000 feet. Skyway 6082, New Zealand Center, continue as planned. Altimeter 29.92.
So we're going as planned. So we'll go to RNAV. And that'll take us back to our course. I think we're slightly off on the takeoff. I'm also going to take her to half bank just to make it nice and smooth. And 161 is our heading down at Wellington, so let's turn that to 161 just so we have a reference when we fly in. There we go. back slightly on the prop. To about 90%. And we'll watch for the overspeed. So 6,000 feet is going to be our cruise altitude. Oh, look at that. Some beautiful sunlight there on the clouds. So just to show where we're going, we're going to make a left turn shortly, and then we're going to head south, get a dogleg to the right, and that will line us up on the approach into Wellington, which is down here at the tip of the southern tip of the North Island. And it's going to be a beautiful flight, short flight, not too long for these first couple. But it is looking pretty good. Keep climbing up to cruise, and we'll get settled into our flight. Pulling up the approach for the altitudes. So we're pretty much going to want, well, at our approach fix it's 3,000 feet, which is at Whitby. And we got some mountains we're going to be going over. So we should get some good views. So just as I was loading up the sim to do this flight, it did an update. So that is the long-awaited first update, and it basically is fixing a lot of connection issues that people have been having, loading issues, some downloading errors that were happening. Nothing really so far on aircraft performance or other issues that have been identified in that way. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But for now, I mean, it's still pretty good. People are making do. It'd be nice to get some of the VNAV features for the airliners sorted out, some of the autopilot and stuff. And some of the performance models, there's some issues with having it be too sensitive in some of the attitude adjustments, and it can become quite like some of the smaller jets. They kind of porpoise through the sky, which is not ideal. Obviously, it's not what they do in real life, and it becomes a bit of a pain to fly whenever it's constantly bobbing up and down. So we're only 3 degrees out here, so I'm going to switch on the pitot anti-ice system. I'm also going to come down here, and let's see if we can do this without getting too... Come on. I don't want the separator. There we go. It's going to get a little dark, shady as we come in. So we're at 6,000 feet. We're on course. We got a nice speed going here. So we should be all right. So we got a little bit of a slight wind coming out of the west, but all is good. See over to the left there some of the mountains. So there seems to be a bit of a ridge that runs down the center of the island. We're going to cross it up ahead. I don't know is tilted like it is. Oh, it's saying it's flat. I got a feeling it might just be me a little bit. Anyway, we're going to jump outside, we'll give you some views, and we'll get back to you when we get a little bit closer. As you can see, we're coming over the mountains. Just when we get to pretty much the other side of this range of mountains here, we will be turning into the approach for Wellington. I want to point out some really neat things. Some of the reflections here, you get the sunlight, but you can see the little scratches and scuffs and little dirt marks on the windows, and there was that point with the sunlight, you can see little smudges. I mean, it's this attention to detail that this makes this pretty amazing. So we're getting close. Now Wellington is kind of the hub for Topa Sky. I'll be looking at some of the other flights that go out of here. There are some longer ones. This is probably one of the shortest, which I wanted to do not only just for my own sake of starting with a shorter flight, but to just get used to the system, filing the reports when the flights are done, to go into my logbook with the airline. So it is. It's been pretty good. It's a pretty easy system. And if you are flying and you're looking for something to do, something to give you purpose or to challenge or for a community online, I would highly recommend a virtual airline. I think my little track IR got nudged a bit out of alignment. A little bit better. I'll have to reset it next time I reload. But it's a nice flight. It's blinding off that way. We got about an hour before it starts getting really dark. The sun is setting. Beautiful golden light off to the west there. Really illuminating the clouds nicely. Giving us those beautiful sky colors that everyone just adores when they fly. Again, this is not live weather. I've just set it for light clouds, the same as we did on the first flight, since it's supposed to be the same day. And just change the time to a later flight. This flight that we're on would actually be coming back later in the day from Palmerston North down to Wellington, so that is what I'm kind of simulating here. again, I do have the icing system active because we are going in and out of clouds. And if we look down, the outside air temperature is only 3 degrees. So we don't want it to affect us too much. Oop. It's adjusting my headset there. Big puffy cloud we're going into. So we're going on the Dolgat approach. It is the, just stop that for a second. It's the Dolgat 4B approach into Wellington. And we're on it right now. Weird orange light outside.
Skyway 6082, contact Wellington approach on 121.1. Going to 121.1 Skyway 6082. Wellington approach Skyway 6082, 6,000 feet. Skyway 6082, Wellington approach, continue to WN 406 as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
So the jets would be flying higher, and they would be descending at this point. But since we're a little turboprop, we'll just maintain our 6,000 feet. Flying over the hills here. The weather's pretty nice, so not an issue. Highest elevation on our path is about 5,000 feet. So we should be fine. There are higher once you get south of the airport or southeast of the airport, but it's not going to be a concern for us at this time. And as I said, 3,000 feet is our target altitude for when we start our descent. So we might as well get that set up now. As we bounce around a little bit more. And these dials are definitely much easier to handle from real life. Once your hand's on the switch, it doesn't get bumped off by a little bit of turbulence. So you can see south of the mountains here, the flat plains, and that leads down to the water. There's a bit of a lake here. And then just off to our right is where there's the bay where Wellington is situated. So in about a mile, we're going to make the turn, pretty much heading southwest to bring us lined up for our approach into Wellington itself. Actually got some dark clouds ahead of us. Shouldn't rain. Might be some moisture in there though. So we're making our turn now on towards Hecta. Hop outside for a minute. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Into the sun, a little bright. Go around the other side. There we go. Gorgeous New Zealand countryside. Definitely looking forward to flying down in the southern island, seeing what's down there, more dramatic mountains and I guess fjords. Should be very interesting. the way we're headed. So hopefully the airline can come out with a new paint scheme for the aircraft so it can actually fly it in the colors of the airline. Pretty nice paint scheme, actually. So Whitby, you can see, we got to be at 3,000 feet by the time we get to Whitby. So in a little bit we should get orders to descend. So there's the bay, which you can see here, and the city of Wellington is, just kind of see lights flashing right there. There's where the airport is. So we're not too far out. Again, like most of New Zealand, Wellington is looking absolutely like a fantastic place. Beautiful countryside. Nice river heading down to the ocean. And again, realizing that and remembering that this is just the North Island. There are 2 islands that make up New Zealand. Check out what our last chat was. Continue as planned. Roger. They should be getting a hold of us shortly. Never know with this ATC though. So we're going to punch in for the ILS, but we'll hand fly it down since it's a nice day. Very good. Although, I should probably have set you to normal, turn the starter off, set the ignition to normal. Yeah, it's Pete's fault. Didn't do the after start checklist. Let's get that mouse out of the way so that's not flashing up there. So if anyone knows the name of the bay there, let me know. I don't know if it's Wellington Harbor or it's got another name.
Skyway 6082, descend and maintain 3,500 feet. Descend and maintain 3,500 feet, Skyway 6082.
Alright, so we're going to go down 3,500 feet. And we want to go the other way. And we'll come back on the power a bit so we don't overspeed. Go down about 1,000 feet a minute, so it'll take us 2.5 minutes to get down.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 16 approach via Whitby transition. Cleared to Whitby, Skyway 6082.
See, this is the problems with the ATC. Can't maintain present altitude. They told us to descend. So it's a little bit quirky at times. But we're cleared to Whitby. They gave us that a little late. We're supposed to be at 3,000 feet at Whitby, but how far do we got to go? 2.5 miles?
Skyway 6082, descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Alright, so we're taking her down
Descend
to
and maintain 3,000
now.
feet, Skyway 6082.
So that is our approach altitude. 1,200 feet. And we're going to be slightly high as we cross Whitby. By about 1,000 feet. There's the runway. I can see the lights. Kill the bank since we're on the approach. She's doing there. Circling for Whitby. It's the joys of I don't know where you're headed. It's heading back over there. Do that. So we're going to go to heading mode. I'm going to take manual control at this point. Again, this is the computer doing weird things. Head this way, and then we can line up and do a proper. Oh, look at that color! God, that's a gorgeous copper-colored sky. All right. If I knew how to play around a little bit more, and I could go in until it go to direct to the next point, but not sure it's going to play nicely with that. Let's go to 161. Get this thing to turn. Please head towards the runway. And then we'll fly it in manually. So somehow she didn't click over onto the next leg. But that's fine. Just carry on with our approach. And we'll take it from here. So we're at 3,000. Let's power up. We're a little slow. Should be stepping down at D9. Just coming up, we'll start to descend.
Skyway 6082, keep speed below 170 knots. Keep speed below 170 knots, Skyway 6082.
Alright, that's not going to be a problem for us.
Skyway 6082, descend and maintain 2,600 feet. Descend and maintain 2,600 feet, Skyway 6082.
I'm on the ILS, you shouldn't be giving me step down altitudes, but whatever. Alright, so we're going to come off. I've got to check that. Something else is bound.
Skyway 608 to you are 900 miles north of Wellington. Contact Wellington Tower on 125.25 when inbound on the approach. Tower on 125.25 Skyway 6082.
Well, we're
Wellington
inbound on
Tower
the approach.
Skyway 6082 8 miles north inbound ILS runway 16 approach. Skyway 6082 Wellington Tower. Cleared ILS runway 16 approach. Altimeter 29er to wind 248 at 7. Wellington Tower Skyways 6082 inbound ILS runway 16 approach.
So a bit of a wind.
6082 Wellington Tower. Cleared ILS runway 16 approach. Altimeter 29er to wind 248 at 7.
The wind's basically right off our
Cleared ILS
right
runway
side.
16 approach Skyways 6082. Skyways 6082 cleared to land runway 16. Wind 248 at 7. Cleared to land runway 16 Skyways 6082.
So very quickly I'll look down, drop fully forward. Slightly off center. First notch of flaps. Landing flaps. See the runway, we got a good visual coming in. Nice orangey pink clouds. Everything looking very nice. Very nice indeed. Trimmed for about 70 knots. Power controls pitch. Speed is good. See if we can get a nice landing here. We're not really feeling that wind. Maybe it's hidden by the mountains or blocked by the mountains. Slight grab. We're a little high. Power's right off. Plenty of runway. Flare. Flare. And we're down.
Skyway 6082, turn next taxiway.
There we go.
Skyway 6082, contact ground on 118.8.
Okay.
Going to 118.8 Skyway 6082.
And we're down. Parking brake. Let's get our taxi light on. Get those off. Strobe off. Now we're going to want to taxi back to gate 3.
Wellington ground, Skyway 6082, request taxi to the gate. Skyway 6082, taxi to gate 22 using taxiway Alpha.
Alright, he wants me to go to...
Taxiing to gate 22 via taxiway
22.
Alpha, Skyway 6082.
Not sure where gate 22 is, so as normal, we will go into here. We will go into our nav aids. It will bring up. And we'll head over to gate 22. So I guess that's kind of over where we started. Let's follow the line. Having to use a lot of brake to get this thing to turn. We're putting us out of jetway. At least in the old days, you used to be able to. I think you used to be able to specify what gate you wanted to go to. There's gate 22. Let's very quickly shut this off. There we go. And we will watch. Oop, I want to come to too abrupt a stop there. So we'll have to slow down. There he is, giving us a little bit of direction. And there we are. We are parked. So, bring prop right back, bring the mixture back. Kill the lights. Avionics will come off. And that is us done. Guys, thank you very much for joining us on this flight. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe to see more. And we will see you next time when we fly for Topa Sky. Bye for now.